getting the facts right. This is WCTI News Channel 12 at 5.
Right now at 5, two 21-year-olds are safe but scared. You're looking at the massive effort to find them more than a day after they disappeared.
Family members hadn't seen the two since Saturday.
News Channel 12's Mary Lee Moore tells us the concern only grew when their car was found abandoned in Carteret County.
This is the very end of Sandhills Drive in Newport. The search began right here with nothing but an abandoned vehicle to start with. Family members and law enforcement officers gathering to look for Casey Burrows and Brianna Wallace. The concern only grew when investigators found their cell phones left behind. The two spent 2 nights in the woods, lost while going on a hike. Burrows emerged from the woods first, scraped and bruised. He then pointed searchers in the direction where they eventually found Wallace too. Both of them exhausted, both of them alive.
A lot of scrapes. You can imagine walking through some thick area with a lot of thorns and thick underbrush and branches, and pretty tough terrain back there to be walking around in without the proper equipment.
Sheriff Buck says he doesn't suspect foul play. He believes this is a case of 2 people getting lost in the woods. In Carteret County, Mary Lee Moore, News Channel 12.
Sheriff Buck says tonight that Burrows and Wallace had minor injuries. They were taken to a hospital, and he says both are expected to be okay.
I'm meteorologist Johnny Cox kicking off the new week with cool temperatures out there, and part of the reason the cloud cover and the northerly breezes, you can see we're mainly in the 50s, and those breezes continue to pick up around 5 to 10 miles per hour, closer to the coast up to 15 miles per hour from the north. That'll make it seem a little bit cooler out there this evening, and Doppler radar dry after most of the showers push through by about midday, moving well offshore, and we are looking at mainly dry conditions across the region, but we have another front headed in our direction. I'll show you when that will arrive and how it will impact your week coming up in just a couple minutes.
A hunting getaway turns tragic. A man dies in a house fire. And as News Channel 12's Aduria Chumba tells us, authorities now say gasoline might have played a role.
This is what's left of the building here on 10 Mile Fork Road where that Wilson man died. The property owner tells me the father-son pair usually lodge here when they come bear hunting. The owner, who didn't want to go on camera, tells me the fire started around 9 p.m. Sunday night. According to him, the man's son, who survived the fire, said they were using a kerosene heater to stay warm as they slept. The heater malfunctioned and started the fire. They tried to get the heater out, but the fire spread very quickly. These are photos taken by a passerby of the building as it burned. The father, as we now know, didn't make it out. A neighbor I spoke with also shocked by the news.
I'd like to say I'm sorry and that it had to happen when the man was out here enjoying himself. And hopefully he's had prepared for his family before now.
Family members were here earlier in the day, visibly overcome with grief. And the owner tells me this is one of 2 buildings on the property he owns right across from his home. He says it's been in his family for more than 100 years. The building has no electricity, and so lodgers use alternative means to heat up. In Trenton, Aduria Chumba for News Channel 12.
The Jones County EMS director tells us the preliminary investigation leads them to believe that gasoline likely played a role in the fire. We will hear from him coming up tonight at 6. The SBI is also investigating.
And we're still working to learn what caused a fire that destroyed a lodge in Beaufort. People were inside Core Creek Lodge when the fire started there last night. All did manage to make it out safely. Our crews saw a lot of smoke and most of the roof destroyed when we first reported on this on Facebook overnight. The Core Creek Lodge has been in this spot near the Intracoastal Waterway for years. The age of the building is part of the reason it burned so severely. Investigators say the building did not have firewalls designed to keep fires from spreading.
If you live in the Jacksonville area, you can head to a seminar in just a few minutes to learn how to keep our churches safe. It starts at 5:30 at the Jacksonville Onslow Chamber of Commerce. The free program is designed specifically for churches. Officers from the police department's community policing division will help train churches on how to keep their congregations safe. Chief Mike Yanero says this is all about reducing the risk factors.
As we remove factors, what we do is we reduce the risk that we become victims of crime. And that's what we're after, is at least removing some of those. We can't eliminate the risk, but we can reduce it quite a bit.
The workshop goes until 6:30 tonight.
A Fayetteville man accused of supporting ISIS faced a judge for the first time in Raleigh today. Gloria Rodriguez was there and has details.
Gould pleaded guilty to 3 federal counts. He could face up to 16 years in prison. Okay, now the video. Let's see. The judge repeatedly asked if he was aware of what he was pleading guilty to and read the potential penalties to him. Gould answered yes. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of filing false tax returns and 1 count of trying to procure citizenship unlawfully. The investigation into these charges included an informant and social media accounts linked to Gould. Court documents say he was selling drugs out of the Snack Attack convenience store in Fayetteville and underreported his income. The investigation also revealed Gould's sympathies to ISIS, despite answering no in his citizenship application when asked if he supported terrorist organizations. According to the complaint, the native of Tunisia even praised the terrorist attack in Chattanooga, Tennessee. In addition to a possible penalty of 16 years in prison, Gould potentially faces 3 years of supervised release and a hefty fine.
If you're looking to donate your unwanted books, a book drive will benefit teachers and students in our area. Craven County Partners in Education is sponsoring the drive through this Friday. The books will go to Craven Smart Start and Craven County school teachers for their classrooms. Drop-off spots are the Sun Journal in New Bern, Century 21 Zaytoon Rains, all Craven County schools and the Central Services Office, Alpha Graphics, and Craven Smart Start.
And today is the beginning of a holiday tradition in Eastern Carolina and in 11 other countries. This is Collection Week for Operation Christmas Gift. Chief Meteorologist Donnie Cox was at the opening of a center in our area this morning.
Despite the rain, it's starting to feel a lot more like the holidays at Garber United Methodist Church in New Bern and collection centers all across the region. This begins the Collection Week for Operation Christmas Child, a ministry of Samaritan's Purse based in North Carolina.
It's 8 days of drop-off centers like this being open and accepting people's boxes from churches, community groups, individuals.
I had the honor of helping cut the ribbon at the opening of the collection center at Garber United Methodist Church on Monday. Area organizations and churches like Garber helped collect many shoe boxes to brighten up Christmas for kids in other countries who won't have gifts waiting under the tree.
This center here at Garber last year brought in about 8,600 boxes, which is huge, especially for their first year.
Another center in our area opens this year at Cornerstone Assembly Church in James City.
We can pray for those who will receive it. Inserted in the boxes are some practical gifts.
These boxes are sent to needy children in war-torn and third-world countries with items they may not otherwise receive.
Like hygiene items, soap, a toothbrush, a washcloth, perhaps some school supplies, so some of these kids can go to school when they have school supplies, and a wow toy, something that will wow them because it may be the only toy they ever receive.
The boxes will leave the collection center next Monday and be taken to Charlotte for distribution around the world. In New Bern, Donnie Cox, News Channel 12.
All right, huge operation at Christmas time, and there are several collection centers in our area. You'll find a list of the sites on our mobile app and on our website, WCTI12.com.
President Trump focuses on human rights during the final leg of his Asian trip. Here are his remarks about another leader with a controversial stand on the subject.
And the death toll is in the hundreds tonight in an overnight earthquake squarely in the middle of the Middle East.
Clouds hanging tough after the rain moved through earlier today. About work time tomorrow morning, clouds still in the area. I'll show you if any showers will accompany that coming up right after the break.